Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. This is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video talking about the live arena. We've had a few different leaks and images and teasers and cryptic things from Plarium on Twitter and Flashpoint tweets and all sorts of random stuff. The year of PvP, talking about live arena and lots of crazy changes coming to PvP. So I put together a little infographic here, and I want to talk about some different concepts and some different ways that live arena may be implemented, and give you my thoughts on maybe some ways that I would do it, and just have a general discussion around kind of predicting what the Raid Shadow Legends live arena could look like. Let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, yesterday I did a collab, touching base with my good friend ColdBrew over on his channel, which was a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend checking out that video as well to hear me and ColdBrew talk about like the different ways that the matchmaking system could work and all of that. So I thought it would be fun to talk about in my video what I expect it to actually look like. So I threw this together really quick in Photoshop. It's not fancy. This isn't supposed to be like some sort of god tier design, and I'm not trying to predict the meta or anything. I was literally just kind of throwing images up there so that I have a template to kind of show you what I'm talking about and what the live arena could semi look like. And first of all, I think the two most relevant things that we've gotten officially from Plarium about the live arena stuff is this thing on the bottom left here. This is an image of maybe what the battlefield will look like in live arena. And then you can see your turn 20 seconds. And it looks like this bar is 2/3 full. So it looks like your turn maybe 30 seconds. And you get to kind of choose what ability you want to use on that champion and who you want to target and stuff like that. That seems like a long time. It seems like, that should be like 15-20 seconds max. 30 seconds, I fear that it could be a little bit slow. You don't want these live arena fights to take 10 minutes. But anyway, the point is they're kind of confirming that you're going to have a certain amount of time to pick which ability and who you target based on the current champion that has their turn meter full and it's their turn. And on top of that, this image also shows us that it is going to be 4v4, which was another thing we would be curious about, obviously, if it's going to be some sort of new 5v5 or 6v6, something crazy going on. But it looks like, at least with this first initial teaser image, that it is going to be 4v4 in the live arena, just like the classic arena and the different tag team arena fights. And then down there on the bottom right, you see they had this Valentine's Day post where it says, "I want to ban your strongest champion, but not my feelings for you." And it's got the arbiter there as the narrator. But anyway, that is actually very significant because it says that, or basically confirms that they're going to be introducing some sort of ban system in the game. And it doesn't specifically say anything about the arena or a live arena or anything like that. But the area where that would make the most sense in terms of banning your strongest champion, that means someone else. That means an opponent. You're banning their strongest champion. That means it's somebody you're going against, probably in a new mechanic like the live arena, because we don't really see anything where that would super make sense within the current game that we have live right now in Raid. Which leads me to up top, where I think we're going to see something kind of like this, where, each player picks like 5 or 6 champions that they want to go in to queue for a match in a live arena. So you'd have to really strategize, okay, I need a couple supports, I need a couple damage dealers, I need a couple utility builds. That way I can kind of put together a team no matter who my opponent bans. So you would click find match, and then it will match you up versus somebody who is in a similar like account power or arena ranking. And then, you two people that are queuing, you will come up against each other, and you'll see a screen like this where it's got your two teams pitted up against each other based on the champions that you chose to go into battle with. And then there'll probably be a banning phase, and this will probably be like 60 seconds or something, where you can kind of look at what's going on and then be like, okay, who do I want to remove from their roster? And if I had to guess, it'd be something like this, where you pick 5 or 6 champions, and then your opponent is going to get to ban somebody, and then based on the 5 people that you have left, you'll be able to choose which 4 you want to take into battle, something like that. I could be off by 1 or 2 on these different predictions, but I would guess it'd be something like that. So let's say, you know, I wasn't like trying to build strong teams. I was just kind of like throwing some cool champion avatars up there. But if this were the match, let's say that my team is here on the left, I'm gonna be like, okay, they probably want to really roll with their Duchess Candrafon pair, and Duchess is insanely strong, so I'm probably going to ban Duchess on their side, and then that means that they're probably gonna come in with maybe Baron as their damage dealer, and then they'll have, you know, a support here of Marichka, who's insanely strong, and then they might go with UDK and Nekmathar to round it out. So then based on that, I have to put together a roster to go against that, and I also have to kind of, you know, predict who they're gonna want to ban. And you know, if I look at you know, from their point of view, they're gonna be like, they've got Rotos and Baron as the 2 damage dealers, and Python is their only reviver, Warlord is their CC. You know, I don't have a Rotos or something, or, you know, I'm thinking from their point of view, I don't have a Rotos to block revive, so maybe I'll ban Python, and then I feel pretty good about my chances, and then it would be up to me to put together a team. So I'd be like, okay, they don't really have a good buff strip or any way to remove my Krisk shields, so I'll go with that. I'll go with the Mithrawa to give me some speed buff and try to keep up without scaling them, and then I'll have the Baron to try to do enough damage to get through the different toughness mechanics they've got, and then maybe a Warlord to try and lock them out so I can get more of my strong abilities off compared to them. So this is going to be kind of the battles that are going on between the 2 people, kind of mixing and matching and predicting what the other opponent's going to do, and trying to build rosters based off of who their opponent removed from their champion pool that they were choosing to go into battle with. So I do think that if Plarium pulls this off correctly, this could be a really fun and interesting addition to the game, and it could definitely revamp how PvP happens in Raid. Especially if the matchmaker does a good job, I think it would be really fun for players to like that's going to be the important part to get right, because you don't want someone who's new to the game going in there and getting stomped by Siphi and Duchess and Candrafon and Baron and all these insane champions. But like, you know, imagine at the lower levels, if someone got to go against someone with comparable gear and comparable champions, I think it could be a really interesting mechanic. There's also a few other things that we'll have to take note of. Will this be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Or will this be like a Platinum Arena reset kind of thing where it's once a week and there's a live arena that's open for 3 hours, and then you just kind of, everybody jumps in and battles it out, and then based on the highest tier you can get to, you get a certain reward or something? Like, there's lots of different ways that they could implement this and kind of bring it to the game. And, you know, we've seen different games do it differently. We've seen games always have PvP open. I also played Diablo Immortal, where they only had PvP open in certain 2-hour windows. So that is definitely something to pay attention to when they actually implement the live arena. And given the fact that we're already seeing teasers from Plarium, I do think it's gonna be happening this year. So probably in the next like 6, 7, 8 months, we'll probably get this actually live in the game. And it could even be sooner than that. It could even be like this summer, because Plarium already has a big stigma around like saying soon and coming soon, and we promise it'll happen. So I doubt they would be throwing teasers out there like you see on the bottom here. I doubt they would be throwing that out into the community and the Twitterverse and all of that if they weren't actually ready to kind of move forward with a test server that they'll give us access to see if things are functioning properly, and then be ready to move forward pretty quickly here, because to send teasers out like this and then wait 18 months or 2 years or whatever would be really silly. But yeah, that's how I expect it to kind of function in a nutshell. Obviously, I'm not going to predict it perfectly right. They'll end up implementing it a little bit different or something. But if you forced me to guess a little bit of what it would look like, it would be something like this. But definitely let me know down below if you're excited for the live arena, what you think it would look like, where do you agree with me or disagree with me, and all of that. When do you think it's going to happen and be implemented into the game? It's always fun to read through the comments and hear your input down below as well. So yeah, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.